Hello guys, welcome back to this channel. Today I'm giving my Batman Forever movie review. I saw it yesterday, not for the first time, I haven't seen it in a while, but I was interested to go back to this one because I don't remember liking it, and you will see my thoughts have held up. So now much to say, but go check my Batman playlist, and let's get started. Starting off with what this movie's about, this movie has Batman battling both these two new villains. Starting off with what this movie's about, this movie has Batman battling Harvey Dent, aka Two-Face, or Harvey Two-Face, whatever you want to call him, and then he's sort of just figuring out exactly sort of what to do, and then trying to stop Two-Face. Bruce Wayne's sort of doing his thing. And then you have he meets a scientist named Edward Nygma, and then you sort of disses, or Bruce Wayne does not like what he's trying to do with the whole brain manipulation thing, and then Edward turns into the Riddler, and then he has to battle two villains. Riddler and Two-Face decide to work together, and then Bruce Wayne gets what's it called? Bruce Wayne gets a sidekick, Robin, and then they have to battle Two-Face and Riddler. Now you have the good, and I think overall, what I do think I sort of enjoy about this one, I think the overall energy of it is sort of there. It's still just like all the other Batman movies from this time period. They're all pretty entertaining. This one, it's still like not a very good movie. Like, you do have a lot of cartoonish things. Don't care for Jim Carrey's the Riddler, as well as Tommy Lee Jones' Two-Face. And I think Val Kilmer's actually pretty good in the role. I think his Bruce Wayne's pretty good. His Batman is a bit too goofy. I still cannot take the bat nipples seriously whatsoever. I've never liked that whatsoever. And that's always been a huge problem for me. But there's still some things I sort of get out of it. It's still entertaining. I think there's one I like the opening sequence. It's pretty good. I think Robin, bringing him in, is actually, I think the actor did a pretty good job. And Alfred's as good as all ever. But again, the villain quality takes a huge drop with this one with the Riddler. But I'll talk about that later. Mixed up. And the main thing I've just been so mixed on is really, I can't decide whether I like or hate Jim Carrey's Riddler. On one hand, I do think he's actually a lot of fun. He brings a lot of energy to it. I don't hate him as the Riddler like some people do. I don't really like him either. He's still one of my least favorite Batman villains. And what we got from Paul Dano was much better than what we got. Paul Dano was so much better than what we got from Jim Carrey. And overall, he's okay, I guess. He just doesn't, and he brings a lot to the role. But I think the committee for this movie just decided, oh, he's popular, let's cast him in as the Riddler. I mean, this is pretty much the peak of Jim Carrey's career. And, I mean, does he do a good job? Yeah, but I think the problem is the Riddler sort of turns into Jim Carrey, who's this comedian. And I don't think that was designed to happen, so I think you could have casted someone else. So, another very meh thing. And then I think as this movie goes on, you have some weird sequences, like the whole part with Robin going on his own little part. I heard there's supposed to be like a 3-hour cut of this movie because there's this little arc involving Batman not wanting to be Batman anymore, and I'm a little confused about it. And then which makes sense because there was supposed to be a 3-hour cut so I don't know how I would have felt about that. I don't think it would have done very much for this movie anyways. And I think this should have been a much more serious Batman movie. And they should have realized a bit of the goofiness in Batman Returns with the Penguin. And then kind of toned it back. But then they just cranked up the cartooniness. And it just sort of ruins the movie. I still do have some fun with this one. And it's still entertaining. And I think Jim Carrey is really entertaining in the role as the Riddler. None of the characters, I never liked Chase Meridian. But of all the love interests that you have Vicky Vale, you have Selena Kyle, and then now you have, Chase Meridian, and whatever the girl's name is in Batman and Robin. And she's easily the worst. And then they literally have this scene where she literally brings out the bat nipples, and I'll talk about that later, but that's just such a weird detail. So, yeah. With the bad, and first thing, I'm just not a fan of Tommy Lee Jones as Two-Face. In another movie, a much more serious movie, He actually could have done a pretty good version of Two-Face, but I don't think he does Goofy very well. I think he's designed to be the straight-face guy, and I think he does that really well. Like in some other sort of goofier movies like Men in Black, he is the straight-face guy, and I think he's much better as that than if he was the goofy guy. Here, he is the goofy guy trying to sort of one-up Jack Nicholson in the Joker as the Joker, and it just doesn't really work because he's not the loud personality guy. He's the pretty quiet, cranky guy, and I just don't think it works. Like I don't think he was the right casting choice. In another movie, he could have done a great Two-Face, but in this one, just no. I can't. It's hard to take him seriously. And then we have the most obvious thing: the bad nipples. It's so laughable because it's so It's not disturbing. It's so once you see the bat nipples, it's like very like you can't you can't not unsee them, and like they're so distracting, and it like makes the suit so much worse. Because other than that, the suit's just fine. Like I don't have a problem with it. But what was the point of adding the bat nipples? Was it supposed to be funny? Was it supposed to be make it more realistic? I don't even know. And that literally is that scene where Chase Meridian points them out, and I'm like, I didn't know there was bat nipples on the Batman Forever suit. I know they were on the Batman and Robin suit, but not in the Batman Forever. And then once I see them, you're bothered by them for the rest of the movie. And they're not as bad in the Robin suit, but they're still pretty bad. And like, this is such a dumb thing to put in their Batman suit, and it just ruins the entire thing. I bet I'm not alone. And if you put nipples on the suit, it just ruins it. Like, for example, if you put nipples on the Nolan suit, both of them, that would have killed them. And overall, I can't take it's hard to take this Batman seriously when you have bat nipples. I think the second suit isn't as bad. I don't think it's good, but it's not bad. And I think Val Kilmer in the role, I think he's good in the Bruce Wayne side of things. I don't really like him on the Batman. I find him a bit too goofy. Like the Bat voice, it's hard. I find it hard to take it seriously. And that drive-through joke, yeah, that just sets the tone right away for this movie. So yeah, for this movie's final score, I'll give it like a 5.2 out of 10. I still sort of enjoyed it. It was still entertaining, but there are many scenes where I was like this. So, just like similar to Batman and Robin, although less so, I still find this one to be very cartoonish. Not quite a live-action cartoon. And I do get some enjoyment out of Jim Carrey's Riddler, but still, I don't really like this movie. I don't like it. And especially compared to other Batman movies. It's not my least favorite. There are at least two others I'd get put below this one. And it's still fun and entertaining, but definitely one of the worst. So that's my take on it. Share yours in the comments below. Thank you guys so much for watching. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and comment down below. And I'll see you guys next time. Adios.